You know that feeling, that little whisper? Or sometimes, well, sometimes it's more like a shout telling you you're not quite good enough.
Hmm.
Maybe it hits when you're scrolling through photos online, or maybe after a tough day at work, or even just, standing in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
It feels like there's this constant pressure, sometimes from inside, sometimes from outside, to just be more.
That internal critical voice, definitely. That feeling that our value is somehow conditional.
Yeah.
It's incredibly common, and it really gets to the heart of what we're digging into today.
Exactly. So we are taking a deep dive into the concept of self-love.
And the material you've given us to guide this dive is the book, Self-Love. 100 plus quotes, reflections, and activities to help you uncover and strengthen your self-love. It's by Devi B. Dillard Wright.
Right. And the author does note a dedication of the book to the Black Lives Matter movement, just to mention that up front.
Yes, that's noted in the source.
What immediately stood out to me reading the introduction is how the book frames self-love. It's presented as something much deeper than just, pampering or body image.
Oh, absolutely. It's positioned as an unconditional acceptance of and value for yourself.
Body, mind, and soul. The whole package.
All of it. Yeah, it's like a
That's,
fundamental stance you take towards yourself. It's not about earning your own approval somehow.
no.
It's about recognizing your inherent value from the get-go.
Okay. So our mission then for this deep dive is to really unpack what this unconditional self-love means based on this material you've shared.
Right.
We want to understand why it feels so challenging sometimes, and maybe most importantly, dig into the practical, actionable ways the source suggests we can actually build and strengthen it in our daily lives.
Consider it a focused exploration, a shortcut to understanding these key ideas from the book you provided.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's unpack that definition a little more. Because the source material, it really breaks it down quite nicely. It says self-love involves having confidence in your decisions, appreciating both your strengths and, crucially, your weaknesses.
Which is huge, yeah. Accepting the weaknesses too.
Absolutely. And intentionally taking care of both your physical and your emotional health.
So it's not just thinking positive thoughts then. It's about actively valuing who you are. The book actually says when you truly love yourself, you place your own happiness and well-being as the highest priority.
In the highest regard, exactly. And a really powerful point it makes is recognizing that you are the only constant in your life.
That's profound.
People come and go, circumstances change, everything shifts, but you are always with yourself every single moment.
Which really just underlines the importance of cultivating that good relationship with yourself, doesn't it?
Definitely.
The book contrasts this idea of internal self-value with constantly looking outwards, seeking external validation.
Right, like trying to feel worthy by making more money or losing weight or relying solely on a partner's praise, things like that.
And look, the material does acknowledge, social validation feels good. Of course it does. We're wired for connection.
Sure, it's human.
But the danger, as the source points out, is when that becomes the only source of your sense of worth.
Yeah, that's the trap.
Because if it is, well, the impact of lacking self-love becomes pretty clear. The book connects low self-love to difficulty setting boundaries,
That's a big one.
struggling to stand up for yourself, maybe feeling like you don't deserve better in relationships, or even just feeling uncomfortable being alone.
And if you flip that around, cultivating self-love empowers you. It helps you seek out healthy connections, walk away from the unhealthy ones, and actually, enjoy your own company.
That makes so much sense. But okay, if it's so foundational, why does it feel like such an uphill battle for so many people? Why is it so difficult?
Well, the source material doesn't shy away from that question, which is good. It points to some internal barriers first. Things like automatic negative self-talk.
Yeah, the inner critic.
That inner critic, yeah. And just general self-criticisms. For a lot of folks, doubting yourself just feels like a default setting throughout the day.
Like a habit.
Exactly. These unkind thoughts are like established habits that have really taken root over time.
And changing habits that are that deeply ingrained, well, that takes real intentional effort, right?
It really does.
The book uses this analogy of needing to sort of dig them up to plant something different, something like self-love in their place.
It's a good visual. And then, of course, there are the external barriers, especially today, with technology and just the sheer volume of information we're exposed to.
Tell me about it.
It's incredibly easy to fall into what the book calls the comparison trap.
Oh, the comparison trap. Yeah, that's a big one. Social media feeds, ads, they're constantly showing us these perfectly filtered highlight reels.
Right, or promising these quick fixes for whatever insecurity they've just pointed out.
And it's almost involuntary, isn't it? You start measuring your messy, real life against those polished, edited versions you see online.
It is. And the crucial insight the book reinforces here is that self-love isn't something you just achieve overnight. It's not a switch you flip.
Okay.
It is fundamentally a journey. Just like those negative habits were built up over time, rewiring your internal narrative towards self-confidence and compassion requires consistent practice.
And I can see how that practice might feel, well, weird at first.
Yeah, probably a bit awkward.
Like actively speaking positively about yourself or, looking in the mirror and trying to express love for what you see, it can feel unnatural.
Totally. But the book suggests that with intention and persistence, it gradually starts to feel more natural, more authentic.
Okay, so it gets easier with practice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's a journey and it takes practice, where does the book suggest we actually start?
Good question.
It offers methods that touch on different areas of your life. Your mindset, your physical body, your relationships, your daily actions.
A holistic approach.
Very much so. Let's start by looking at how the book suggests we cultivate self-love mentally and emotionally.
Okay, unpack that for us. What are some of the ways the source says we can work on our internal state?
Well, one key idea is choosing your role. The book says you shouldn't censor yourself just to please others.
Stop self-censoring.
Yeah. You need to actively ask yourself what you want because you are the absolute lead in your own life story, no one else.
And the action suggested there is pretty simple. Do one small thing today that pushes against your typical tendency to censor yourself.
Right. Maybe wearing an outfit you love but feel a bit hesitant about, or initiating a conversation you normally wouldn't. Just a small step.
Okay. What else?
Another method, and this might feel a bit counterintuitive, is to embrace the uncomfortable.
Embrace discomfort. How does that relate to self-love?
Well, the book argues that self-love isn't always cozy. It often involves trying new things and accepting parts of yourself that feel unfamiliar or even awkward.
Oh.
It encourages embracing what it playfully calls your inner weirdness, or those hidden aspects of your personality.
I like inner weirdness. So an action related to that might be visiting an art gallery if you never do, or reading a type of poetry you've avoided.
Exactly. Or anything that speaks to that slightly less conventional inner self, nurturing those parts.
Got it.
The book also suggests we need to live more, conquer less.
Live more, conquer less. What does that mean?
This constant focus on conquering or achieving things can, ironically, make us feel less worthy when we're not constantly productive.
Right, like your value is tied only to your output.
Precisely. It robs ordinary moments of their simple beauty. The source reminds us you don't have to be conquering constantly to be worthy of love or to have a fulfilling life. Sometimes you can just be.
And the action for that?
Very simple. Take just a few minutes, maybe even right now as you're listening, to simply be. Let go of the urge to rush or accomplish anything. Just exist.
Powerful in its simplicity.
It also touches on the importance of allowing difficult feelings. Allow yourself to mourn, the book says.
Mourn, like grief.
Yes, but it broadens the definition. It's not limited to death. It's for all kinds of losses, lost connections, places you love, times in your life that are gone.
Okay, I see.
These experiences become part of who you are, and suppressing the feelings around them isn't healthy or helpful in the long run.
The source even includes a quote, I think from Elizabeth Gilbert, about grief being a full-body experience.
That's right. And it suggests revisiting these points of loss isn't about dwelling, but it can actually remind you of who you were and clarify who you want to become.
Interesting perspective.
Building on that, the book emphasizes the need to express your emotions. All of them.
Not just the good ones.
Exactly. Negative emotions aren't inherently bad.
Yeah.
The problem arises when we suppress them, letting them build up until they maybe lead to a breakdown or burnout. Healthy, regular release is key.
So actions like, what, venting to a trusted friend?
Yes, or putting on music and dancing it out, drawing, writing in a journal, all presented as ways to let those feelings move through you in a healthy, constructive way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then there's a very practical mental tool offered. Interrupt critical thoughts.
Back to the inner critic. How do we interrupt it?
The source notes that self-criticism often feels completely automatic, like it's just how things are. But it wastes so much energy on these self-defeating patterns. Perfectionism is highlighted as a common sign of this.
So the action isn't necessarily to eliminate the thought entirely, maybe that's impossible, but to interrupt it?
Exactly. Notice the negative thought, pause, and intentionally replace it with something positive, even if it feels small or silly at first. The book suggests something like, these earrings look nice.
Just something positive to break the chain.
Precisely. The interruption itself is the key step. It breaks the cycle.
Okay.
And finally, under this sort of mental umbrella, a really powerful concept: own your flaws.
Own your flaws. That sounds challenging.
It can be. The book presents the belief that you are somehow damaged goods as a major obstacle to self-love.
Because the truth, as the source sees it, is that there is nothing inherently wrong with you. You are unique, powerful, and absolutely worthy of love, just as you are.
Right. He uses this beautiful analogy of a flaw in a diamond. It doesn't make it less of a diamond. It actually makes it real and legitimate, unique.
What a great way to look at it. So the action for this one.
It's more internal work.
Yeah.
Really revisit that idea. Consciously work to root out that deep-seated doubt, maybe even visualizing it like an infection you're clearing out, and make a conscious effort to believe in your own self-worth.
Okay, wow. That covers a lot of the mental and emotional landscape. But the book also connects self-love to our physical being, right? Physical connection and care.
Yes, absolutely. It encourages us to listen to your body. Self-love means loving and accepting all parts of yourself, and that definitely includes your physical body.
And the body has messages for us.
Often, yes. The book suggests the body holds messages about its needs. Maybe that knot in your shoulders is asking for some stretching or yoga, or that tension in your head is telling you need some quiet time.
So how do we listen?
A body scan meditation is offered as one way to tune in, just scanning through and maybe asking your body, what can I do to be kinder to you today?
And it's not just listening, but moving too, I gather. Get into motion.
Definitely. Bodies are meant to move. The source suggests that even a few minutes of physical activity can help release some of that negative self-talk and recenter a sense of kindness towards yourself. It benefits both mind and body.
And the action is pretty straightforward. Schedule it or just find some time to move today, even if it's just light stretching. Set a reminder if you need to.
Yep. And the related point is finding your body balance.
Body balance, what does that entail?
The book describes this as diligent but kind attention to your body. It's about finding that middle ground between harsh treatment like extreme dieting or overtraining and complete indifference or neglect.
So not swinging from one extreme to the other.
Exactly. Balanced care includes healthy eating without being overly strict, exercising in a way that supports you rather than overtaxing you, and maybe engaging with things like beauty or fashion from a place of self-expression, not just chasing trends.
Fundamentally, it's about accepting and loving your body as it is right now.
That's the core of it. And the action suggested here is quite thoughtful. Reflect on any past injuries or issues that might have come from pushing your body too hard, perhaps due to comparison. Then write down some realistic wellness goals for the next month or two, make a plan, and actually put it on your calendar. Make it real.
And speaking of physical care, a foundational element the book stresses, get a good night's rest.
Oh, crucial. It's presented as an essential act of self-love. Lack of sleep just ramps up stress, affects mood, impacts everything.
Totally. So the actions are about sleep hygiene.
Yes, practicing good sleep hygiene, consistently setting a regular bedtime, avoiding screens before bed. It even suggests considering short naps if needed, or investing in comfort items for sleep, like a good mattress or pillows, as tangible acts of self-care.
Okay, so we've talked mind and body. Self-love also connects deeply to how we interact with others. The book covers relationships and community.
Absolutely. A key method here is to connect with like-minded people.
Find your tribe.
Essentially, yes. Finding others who share your goals or interests makes you feel less alone on your journey. It provides a space to express your unique identity, which naturally increases self-appreciation.
And that connection can be online or in person, the source mentions. It includes a quote about finding your kinfolk, people who just get you.
Exactly, which
Yeah.
illuminates who you are. And linked directly to that is the idea to nurture your relationships.
Tend to the connections we already have.
Right. We are social creatures after all. Self-love involves tending to the bonds with people who are important to you. Connecting on deeper levels brings satisfaction and joy. And seeing yourself reflected kindly in the love of others can show you how worthy of love you actually are.
That requires patience and understanding, though, with yourself and with loved ones.
It does. And the book suggests a unique action here. List 3 to 5 things you do for yourself that also benefit others. Keep that list visible.
Why? What's the purpose of that?
As a reminder that you are needed and that your self-care actually has positive ripple effects outwards. It's not selfish.
Ah, I like that. Countering the selfishness myth.
Precisely. The source also encourages us to seek out your hidden guides.
Hidden guides, like mentors.
Could be mentors, but broader than that. The idea is that people in your life, regardless of their status, wealth, or age, can be teachers and offer valuable lessons if you're open to seeing them.
So don't close yourself off out of fear or assumptions. Be intentionally open to positive influences from unexpected places.
Exactly. The action suggested is to heighten your awareness, actively expecting that guides might appear today. Look for wisdom anywhere, recognizing a teacher can come in a very humble form.
Be open. Okay.
And importantly, share the journey. You are definitely not alone in navigating the ups and downs of cultivating self-love. It's hard work sometimes.
It really is.
Sharing your struggles helps you see that they aren't unique to you, which can be a relief. And it reduces the exhaustion of trying to maintain a perfect facade all the time.
A simple, powerful action the book suggests. Share one struggle you're having with a friend today. Just put it out there.
It can lighten the load considerably. The book also directly addresses the tendency many have to take on too much responsibility.
Oh, yes, the overfunctioning.
Right.
Yep.
It says we need to share the burden. Taking on excessive responsibility, whether at work, home, or in community groups, leads straight to burnout. And that burnout can make you question your own worth.
So self-love means setting limits and prioritizing your own well-being, even if it means saying no sometimes.
Yes, because sharing the load ensures your long-term strength and prevents resentment from building up, which poisons relationships.
And the action.
Identify the groups you're involved in and your role. If you feel drained, find concrete ways to share some of that responsibility this week. Delegate. Ask for help.
Okay. Shifting focus now from others back to yourself, the book suggests a different kind of competition. Compete with yourself.
Not with others.
Exactly. Comparing yourself to others is almost guaranteed to make you feel inadequate because everyone's path, everyone's circumstances are different.
So true.
Instead, focus on your personal improvement, becoming wiser, kinder, happier, improving your own skills in whatever area matters to you.
This process makes you a person of excellence for yourself. And, as the book puts it, a good friend to yourself.
I like that framing, a good friend to yourself. The action is setting a goal for a personal best.
Yeah, like in running or writing or reading more books than last month. Make a plan specifically to break your own record, not someone else's.
Got it. Okay, let's move into the realm of action and intentionality. The source really emphasizes that self-love isn't passive, right? It grows through deliberate actions.
Absolutely. It suggests we act with feeling meaning, make self-supporting behaviors a daily routine.
Like what kind of behaviors?
Things like making a healthy meal, exercising, meditating, reading, maybe managing your finances. These should become regular habits, not just occasional nice-to-haves.
The goal being to end the day thinking.
I'm really glad I did that. I did myself a favor today. And crucially, the book adds, don't beat yourself up on the days you miss the mark. It's about consistency, not perfection.
That's a relief. Okay, and what about when it feels overwhelming?
A very practical tip is to focus on today's portion. When the whole self-love journey feels too big, just concentrate on practicing self-love today, just for today.
How do you know what's needed today?
Listen to yourself. Listen to what you and your life need in this moment. That requires determination, yes, but also deep listening.
And the action is finding even just a few quiet minutes today for a midday reset, like on a lunch break or in your car.
Yes, and even putting it on your schedule if necessary to make it happen.
Good tip.
A really powerful action highlighted is to leave no time for doubt.
Ooh, intriguing. What does that mean?
The source suggests that your satisfaction increases when you identify something you want for yourself and you take action on it before self-doubt has a chance to creep in and talk you out of it.
Ah, strike while the iron is hot, before the critic wakes up.
Kind of, acting on something you desire for yourself reinforces your belief in your own worthiness to have it.
So examples might be claiming a space in your home for a hobby you've been putting off.
Yes, or buying that piece of jewelry you love but felt guilty about, or applying for that grant or job you secretly want. The book's action advice is very direct here. Spend time or money on yourself for something you truly want. And the key is, don't think, do.
I love that energy.
And fundamentally underpinning all this action, the book stresses the need to believe in yourself.
Which sounds simple, but is often the hardest part.
It really can be. It puts forward the idea that you have the capacity to heal yourself through constructive action. Even starting with just a tiny fragment of belief, like a mustard seed, can grow over time.
The source even touches on the fake it till you make it idea, doesn't it?
It does, suggesting it can be a way to invite real belief to take hold. You essentially can become what you believe yourself to be, even if it starts as a kind of deliberate pose or practice.
And the action for belief.
Generate power thoughts, as the book calls them. Things like, I am flourishing in every way, and repeat them consistently, thousands of times if needed. Rewire the brain.
Okay. It also addresses the reality that sometimes we just don't have what we need, right?
Yes, the practical reality. We might have unmet needs for time, money, care, support. The method is to take care of your needs. First step, identify what those unmet needs actually are.
Be honest about what's missing.
Exactly. And the book gives a clear four-step process. First, visualize the need being met. Second, ask yourself for action steps you can take. Third, take the first small step. Fourth, and this is key, ask for help if you need it.
And it really emphasizes that asking for help isn't shameful.
Not at all. It's a sign of strength and self-awareness, an act of self-care in itself.
Okay. Another critical area the source covers is setting boundaries, or rather, raising them. Raise your standards.
Yes, this comes up multiple times. A lack of self-love can manifest as low standards, tolerating poor treatment from others, not asking for a deserved raise or promotion.
You have to demand better for yourself in relationships, at work, everywhere.
That's the message. The action suggested is to think of a situation that typically makes you uncomfortable, where you usually shrink back, like needing to return food at a restaurant or saying no to an unreasonable request, and then do one thing today to practice demanding better treatment in a small way. Build the muscle.
Okay. Practice pushing back gently.
Finally, under action, the source offers a very tangible way to show love for your future self. Invest in your future.
Like financially.
Yes. Setting up savings or investments for long-term goals is presented as a concrete demonstration that you value your future well-being and believe you deserve good things down the road.
And it helps to choose a goal with emotional meaning.
Definitely. A vacation, a wedding, retirement security, helping family, whatever resonates.
Yeah.
Automate the saving process if possible, make it easy to stick to and maybe a little harder to dip into impulsively.
And the action involves reflecting on maybe past money lessons, scarcity mindsets.
Yes, understanding your relationship with money, and then taking a concrete step like reading one financial article or book this week. Just start learning.
Okay. And interwoven with a lot of these practices is the idea of navigating challenges, specifically rejection. The book suggests exposing yourself to rejection.
Which sounds terrifying.
Right. But the framing is different. Rejection isn't presented as failure, but as a sign that you are putting yourself out there, that you are trying. It's evidence of effort.
Ah, okay, a byproduct of action.
Exactly. The message is, don't let rejection stop you. Use it as a signal to get up, learn if possible, and try again. Maybe differently, but try again.
And the action is pretty challenging.
It is. Deliberately expose yourself to potential rejection at least 3 times this week. Submit that creative work, apply for that reach job, ask someone out.
Oh.
Importantly, track the attempts as the success, not the outcome. Did you try? Yes, success.
That reframes it completely. Focus on the courage, not the result.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the book also weaves these bigger picture ideas throughout, suggesting that self-love impacts how we relate to the world more broadly.
Right, it's not just internal.
One example is the need to create balance. It talks about avoiding the extremes.
The extremes like?
Narcissism, where you're overly self-involved and disconnect from others, and the opposite, self-effacement, where you lose your sense of self by constantly serving others and maybe build resentment.
Finding that healthy middle ground. The source, quoting Susan Harder, says optimal self-esteem involves a balanced perspective on your strengths and weaknesses, and it includes seeking learning and growth.
It also links self-love directly to our capacity for love for others, particularly through forgiveness. Forgive someone, the book urges.
That can be so hard.
Incredibly hard. But holding on to unchecked anger and resentment from unforgiveness is presented as a heavy burden that ultimately weighs you down, preventing you from experiencing healing, freedom, and peace.
The source includes that powerful quote from Archbishop Desmond Tutu about forgiveness being key. It's an act that ultimately frees the forgiver.
Exactly, it's for you. And related to our interactions, the source suggests embrace humanity.
Embrace humanity. How so? Feeling undervalued by others can really feed into that internal dissatisfaction we talked about earlier, but extending simple kindness to others often prompts them to respond in kind. It creates a positive feedback loop.
Improving both your inner state and your outer interactions.
Right, so practice kindness everywhere, at the grocery store, the office, online. The action is simple. Humanize your next encounter. Give someone your full attention, be present, act with kindness. Even just asking genuinely how their day is going can make a difference.
Small acts, big impact.
There's also a more philosophical point, connecting individual well-being to something larger. The book suggests we align with the universe.
Okay, that sounds a bit more abstract.
It is, a bit. It sees the universe not as an adversary, but as a potential partner. Being open to its guidance or just the flow of life can help weather storms and cultivate self-love.
And the action for that, how do you align with the universe practically?
It's about internal awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. Inquire into their source. Challenge the ones that make you want to close yourself off or contract. Look for the ones that encourage you to open up or expand. It's about finding an internal alignment that feels resonant.
Okay, paying attention to inner guidance.
And how we approach our work or daily tasks is relevant too. The book advises us to work with heart. Don't let purely quantitative measures like how many items you checked off a to-do list or how many hours you worked be the sole indicators of your worth or a day well spent.
Value the quality, not just the quantity.
Exactly. Value the intangible qualities. Kindness, patience, contentment. Your value as a person, regardless of output. Focusing on what your heart truly cares about, the book suggests, leads to different values and maybe less concern for conventional worldly success metrics.
And the action is to pause the to-do list.
For a bit, yes. Set it aside. Focus on infusing your day with a value word you choose, like peace or kindness or clarity. Let that guide your actions.
Interesting. The source also reminds us that life is inherently imperfect. Work with imperfection, it says.
Obstacles and flaws are inevitable. Right. Don't fight against them constantly. Accept them and find ways to work with them.
Because your struggles, even the struggle with self-love itself, haven't necessarily weakened you. The book suggests they've made you stronger, more adaptable.
Right. Tap into the creativity and skills you built because you navigated those challenges.
And an action for that is writing a kind of personal mission statement.
Yes, or a manifesto about what your life experiences have taught you and maybe how others might learn from that. Owning your story.
Okay. And underpinning much of this, there's the idea of finding a deeper sense of self. The book talks about unlocking your calm center.
Beneath all the mental chatter and the reactive emotions.
There's a core of calm.
That's the idea. A calm center. And acting from that place feels more effortless, like your mind and body are aligned. The source presents self-love as emerging naturally from this kind of union.
And the action is about mindfulness in daily tasks.
Yeah, practicing doing ordinary things slowly and intentionally, like chopping vegetables or taking a walk, deliberately surrendering that tight grip of control and just letting the moments flow, finding stillness in action.
Okay. So as you can hear, this book presents self-love as this really multifaceted, ongoing journey. It's definitely not just a feel-good concept.
Not at all. It's about deep acceptance, yes, but also very intentional practice across your mindset, your physical well-being, your relationships, and your daily actions.
It's about accepting who you are right now, flaws and all, and actively supporting your own growth and well-being. Both things are true. And all of this, everything we've discussed, has been drawn directly from the material you provided us, offering this focused exploration of the book's key ideas and the many, many actions it suggests you can take.
It's packed with them. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's maybe leave you with a thought to ponder, something inspired by the source material's emphasis on embracing who you are, imperfections included.
Okay.
The book suggests, as we discussed, that accepting your imperfections, those flaws, is precisely what makes you real and legitimate, comparing it to the natural inclusions that make a diamond unique and authentic.
Right. The flaws make it real.
So the thought is this: if accepting your flaws makes you real and legitimate, truly worthy just as you are, what does that reveal about the true source of your inherent value?
Is it something you have to build or earn?
Or is it something that was already there all along, just waiting for you to accept it?
Something to consider as you continue your own journey with self-love. Thank you for bringing us this material for this deep dive today.